Hey, I'm Candace, your host, and if you're ready to grow your business and build your authority by getting booked on podcasts, I've got something special for you. I'm launching a brand new course that will walk you through exactly how to get booked on podcasts. Everything from identifying the right shows to pitching, preparing for interviews, and leveraging your guest appearances for growth. Plus, if you sign up for the waitlist now, you'll get early access to the course and these special bonuses. When you officially enroll in the course, you'll save $50 and get a free one-on-one strategy call with me to help you prep your speaking points and align your offers. These bonuses are limited and end on April 13th, so make sure to sign up today. Head to the link in the show notes to join and get started on your podcast guesting journey. I can't wait to help you get booked and start sharing your message with the world. Now let's dive into today's episode. One thing that comes up all the time in my podcasting world and entrepreneurial world really is imposter syndrome. How do we keep this at bay? How do we deal with this as podcasters or someone that wants to guest on podcasts? So if you've ever hit record and suddenly you feel like a total fraud and you think, who am I to be doing this? Trust me, you are not alone. Let's go through the process. Let's talk about ways that we can kind of keep this at bay, and just know that it might be just a natural thing, especially when you reach a new level of success, a new level of your business, that these new stages bring doubt and bring things like imposter syndrome, but you can definitely keep pushing past this. I was trying to think of a quick story or something to share with you about my own times of having imposter syndrome, because it does come up here and there. And I don't think anyone is really exempt from this, but sometimes I use ChatGPT to get my ideas flowing when I can't think of something. And so I had typed in there, I'm like, hey, do you remember from the stories I've shared, blah, 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 do you remember a time where I have had imposter syndrome? And it so kindly had 3 very specific times. So that was so nice of ChatGPT to help me out with that. But one major one is just going back to the very beginning of starting my podcast and really thinking, who am I to do this? Why would anyone listen to me? You know, those feelings of just doubt, like, am I qualified to do this? Why would others want to listen to me? How do I even think I know enough? All these different things. So I also looked up the definition of imposter syndrome because I was just curious, like, what does it even say? And it's the persistent feeling of self-doubt and inadequacy despite clear evidence of success or competence. It makes you believe you're not as skilled, knowledgeable, or deserving as others think you are, like you're a fraud just waiting to be exposed. It's actually not about your ability to do something or to coach on something or mentor or teach on something. It's about your perception. Now, the good thing about that is that means if we can change our thoughts, we can also stop feeling like an imposter, because it is just a perception. As a podcaster, it might sound something like, oh, who would even listen to me? I don't sound as good as so-and-so's podcast. Am I really an expert on this topic? I don't know enough. Who am I to talk about this? Other people know more than me. Okay. I've been there. These things happen from time to time. And here is why it might be happening. I don't want to call it normal because I don't think we have to have it, but it might be creeping in because you care about the thing you're doing, your podcast or whatever entrepreneurial journey or thing in your life that you're doing. The more doubt might be creeping in because you care so much. So you're nitpicking yourself. You're putting this pressure on yourself and you're placing that on yourself. Or you have this expectation of what you think your podcast has to look and sound like that doesn't even align with who you actually are, but it's something that you have decided because you were listening to other podcasts, you saw other people doing it this way. And so you have created in your head, this version of like what it needs to be like, but it's not actually fitting you. So then you can't reach that. So then you start to beat yourself up. That leads me into the comparison, comparing yourself to other podcasts. So seeing other people have like a more polished podcast than you, or, better graphics to share their episodes with, or video and you don't have video. All these different things make us doubt our own. There were actually accounts that I had to unfollow, not because I don't like them. It didn't have anything to do with that. It was just because of my own awareness that for whatever reason, these specific people and accounts were making my comparisonitis, which then attributed to my imposter syndrome, go through the roof. If you have accounts like that, I highly recommend unfollowing them. That doesn't mean that they're not your friend or that you don't still like them or what they're doing or you're not impressed by them. It's just that you need to take care of yourself and be aware that there are certain accounts possibly that you find yourself comparing in that comparison trap to more than others. For whatever reason, there's some people I can follow and I don't compare myself at all. But then there's some that I do. That's when I know I need to get off social media and I need to unfollow these people, right? The other reason is that podcasting is vulnerable. We're literally sitting here talking with our own voice, whether you have a guest on or you're doing a solo episode. But then you need to go and possibly edit your episode, which means you have to listen to it again. And in the beginning of my show, I did not edit. I didn't know how. So I also then did not go back and listen to them because I had to just spew it out nonstop and just let it all fly out inspired and then post it and hit publish because that was so far outside of my comfort zone and my skill set that had I listened to those episodes back, I would never have hit publish. To put it in perspective, the action that you take in spite of that imposter syndrome and pushing through, that's also another way to quiet it and tamp that down. I cannot tell you how many times I see on threads and social media, other podcasters that are early in their journey, first 10 episodes or so, saying how cringe they feel listening to their own voices. I think that's another piece of imposter syndrome is that you don't want to listen to yourself. You're messaging, how you speak, and you think, other people can do it better. Other people sound better. And sure, that might be true, but that doesn't matter, right? Because the people that you are speaking to, they aren't looking for those other people. They're looking for you. So how do we push through this? We need to remember why we started this in the first place. I'm talking about a podcast, but you might be an entrepreneur, you might have a business, whatever. Why did you start this in the first place? Let's reconnect with that mission, that impact you wanted to have. When I first started my podcast, I wanted another woman, specifically a mother that was listening to my show, feel seen and validated because I felt alone in my postpartum journey after having my third baby. And I felt like my story, someone like me, wasn't being shared and didn't have a voice. So that's the mission. And it still is, but now it's in this entrepreneurial focus of I want to give people a voice, especially women, especially moms, a voice through podcasting. So again, more people can connect with them. More people can feel seen and validated because once you've felt that, you don't want to let go. You don't want to let go of that feeling. And I just want to give that to everyone. So remember why you started this in the first place. Another way to push through this, rationalize it. Sometimes it's hard to do this, but sometimes you can. What are the actual facts? I mean, the facts might be that there are other people that know more than you. Okay, duh. But there's also people that know less than you. And also you know enough. And nobody knows exactly what you know because you have your own set of experiences. You have your own take on things because none of us are the same. And that's why your people are going to follow you. Focus on one listener at a time. Stop worrying about these big audiences or stop also worrying about yourself. Imagine the person that you could be helping. In the beginning, for me, someone gave me this advice. I can't even take credit for it. I wish I could. But they said, being so worried about what people are going to think of your podcast episode, your post on social media, your story that you're sharing is kind of a self-centered, a self-focused thing because I'm so worried about myself and how it's going to look and how I'm going to sound. When we flip that and turn it on to focusing on serving and providing value and helping others, that makes it a lot easier to hit record. That makes it a lot easier to hit publish. Another way to push through this is remember, done is better than perfect. Perfectionism only fuels imposter syndrome. Your message matters more than a flawless delivery. In fact, I would say people can't relate to flawless. People can't relate to perfectionism. And when they hear you sounding perfect or your posts are looking perfect on social media, I don't know who is going to sign up with you or follow you because for me, I would think I can't do that. I won't be able to reach that. So then I'm just going to keep going. There's this humanness that is vital that we show and share those flaws. And I'm not saying we have to air our dirty laundry, but just, again, done is better than perfect. Keep that in the forefront of your mind. Keep track of your wins. Stay positive. You have to look at the wins and the feedback and the positive things that are coming your way and remind yourself that people are actually listening to this. People are actually reading your social media posts. People are actually hitting play on your podcast. I don't care if there's one person, 10, 100, 200, 1,000, whatever. That is insane to think about how amazing that is that someone would literally put some headphones on and hit play on your episode while they're carrying on with their life. That's unreal. That's pretty cool. And my last one is everybody feels this way. Even top podcasters have doubted themselves. And probably still do once in a while because you reach that new level, you reach that new height, and now there's new things that come with it. What is the saying? Like new level, new devil, right? It's those new doubts and those new things to get through and figure out. Keep going. But the biggest thing I think that gets rid of imposter syndrome, and we talked about unfollowing people, we talked about working on your mindset, finding those wins and all that. But the biggest thing I think is to take action in spite of it. Continue to keep going. If you can't listen to your first episodes of your podcast, don't listen to them, but hit publish. Your voice matters. Someone out there needs to hear exactly what you have to say. Not what I have to say, not what someone else has to say, your take, your words. So I have a challenge for you. Go record and publish your next episode without overthinking it. I always say this to my guests when I have them on the show if they're nervous. Trust that whatever falls out today, whatever we say, someone needed to hear this. And that's good enough. That's good enough. And I didn't say I need 100 people that need to hear this. No, someone needed to hear this. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So if you have experienced and struggled with imposter syndrome, I would love it if you feel open to sharing your experience. You can DM me, send me an email, or find me on Instagram at Candace Dudley or Threads and tell me about your story. Is any of my story line up with your story? How have you pushed through, or are you stuck in the middle of it right now? All right. Hope this helped. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. If you're ready for podcast mentoring, whether it's setup, editing, planning, or guesting, you can book a one-on-one call with me through the link in the show notes. I hope you feel seen, inspired, and like your dreams and goals are completely valid, because they are. See you next Tuesday.